No one likes to regret a luxury purchase. So today I'm going to be playing a little game of buy this, not that. And I have got 5 pairs of very popular designer bags that are going to go head to head. Okay, ding, 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 that little boxing ring bell, because we are going to be breaking down each of these. I've got a set criteria, I'll go through it with you. And there's going to be a winner, and I'm going to tell you to buy this one and not this one, and why. Spoiler alert, the YSL Care tote that everybody loved. There's a new tote in town. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. The links to these items are going to be below or in the shopping button on the screen. Let me run you through the criteria. We're going to be talking about the price of these items, the wearability, okay, the practicality, trendiness and timelessness, resale value we're going to touch on very briefly, and also how prevalent is it on social media, because for some people that is a factor to consider. The first pair that we're going to discuss is the Bottega Veneta Andiamo bag versus the Ferragamo hug bag. The Bottega Veneta Andiamo bag has been wildly popular, and both of these are fairly new bags to both brands. They are bags that you can use for work or to travel with, even as an everyday bag. They have top handles, they also have the option to crossbody both of them. The hug bag is slightly more structured than the Andiamo, but there is a soft hug version that only has a shoulder strap, but I thought that I should just throw that out there because we're talking more about the hug sort of family. There's about $1,000 and pounds between both of these options, with the Ferragamo one coming in cheaper. I would say if we're going to talk about the timelessness of these designs, both are very timeless, okay? The Andiamo has that very classic Bottega Veneta intrecciato weave that we know and love. You have this, you know, reasonably subtle pop of hardware on the front, okay? There's nothing crazy going on here. The Ferragamo hug as well. You have these sort of two little flaps from the side hugging the bag, hence the name, whatever. Acts as a little bit of a closure as well. But generally this is a very sort of simple bag style. So while both of them I don't think are particularly trendy, both of these brands are also, it's hard to sort of figure out the longevity of these styles. So the Bottega Veneta Andiamo bag, as we know, Matteo Blasi, this was one of his designs. He is now out of Bottega onto the pastures of Chanel. So we've got a new creative director coming in. Is she going to keep the bag style? I don't know. This is a named bag style on Bottega, so it's one that they sort of like focus on and have been doing in different varieties every season. I think that they would be stupid to cut it, but I don't make those decisions. The Ferragamo hug bag is a relatively new bag style that they've also introduced, and Ferragamo, it's hard to kind of predict their bag styles and which ones sort of have the longevity and which don't. Something else to throw out there though are the varieties and the variations. Like I said, Bottega comes in seasonal varieties. There are a range of different leather colours, but also different weaves, denim, stuff like that. When you look at the Ferragamo hug, there are shearling versions. There's, you know, different fabrics and whatever. So both have, I would say, a pretty decent variety. And again, I wouldn't say that they're on crazily different playing fields when it comes to the resale value either. Bottega doesn't have a crazy resale value. You're not going to be paying close to retail for the bag, and there's quite a lot on resale of the Andiamo, so that also means that competition wise, you know, the price is going to get driven down. Demand and supply as per economics and my degree that hardly gets any use. But anyway, so there's that. The Ferragamo hug bag, I have seen it creep into a couple of sales here and there. So again, it's not going to have insane resale value, and also you can get a good deal on it. The Bottega is a bag that has been seen a lot on social media. It's really quite prevalent. It's also got a lot of dupes. If that is something that concerns you, or if that's something that you're like, I'm not a big fan of that, that's something to keep in mind. Ferragamo hug is not that prevalent of a bag. I don't see it nearly quite as much on social media. So if we're gonna get down to it, I think that this might be controversial, but buy the Ferragamo hug and not the Bottega Veneta Andiamo. Couple number 2. The Alaïa bag versus the Miumu bow bag. Now, both of these brands are experiencing a little bit of hype of attention. The spotlight is shining a little bit brighter on these. Alaïa is a brand that has a very different vibe to Miumu. Miumu is one of the hottest brands in the world at the moment. They're sort of on that very like preppy aesthetic thing, rugby and sort of schoolgirl-esque, right? Very youthful. Alaïa, on the other hand, is a lot more sexy. There's a sexiness there. There's a sort of elegance, a artistic side. Anyway, let's get into the bags. Both of these are east-west shoulder bag styles. You've got a nice long drop on the shoulder there. You're shimmying it up. You're living your best life. They also both come in a small variety of different variations, okay? Again, these are both named bags under the brands. So each season brings a different taste, a different flavor to experience these bags in. The Alaïa ones come in a goat skin, but also the odd pony hair, denim, canvas. Miumu, again, you're looking at canvas, you're looking at leather versions, and some woven leather versions as well. In terms of price, the Alaïa is much more cheaper compared to the Miumu ones, which is actually shocking because Miumu is a brand that sort of presents as more accessible and isn't. You would think out of those two, like, oh, which of these brands is more expensive? You'd be like Alaïa, right? It like sort of carries itself that way, but not in terms of these bags. They also come in two sizes, a small and medium, for both of these bags. In terms of timelessness and trendiness, East-West is sort of trending at the moment, but I don't think it is a particularly trendy bag style. I think both of these would very much stand the test of time in terms of the way that they look. But then in terms of wearability, I think the Miumu one feels a little bit more casual compared to the Alaïa. The Alaïa one, I don't know if it's because it's even more east-westy, it's like shallower and wider than the bow. Feels like you can date night it a little bit more, even though it is a sort of shoulder bag which tends to feel a bit more casual in general. Wear her during the day, but also she wouldn't look out of place with an evening or, you know, a little bit more of a dressy look. And like I mentioned, these are named bags. They feel like they have longevity within the brand. Alaïa, the Latecal, is something that they've been doing for lots of seasons now. I don't see that going away anytime soon. They've even brought out the clutch version. The bow as well, it's been around for a little bit as well. I don't see that going anywhere, but again, you can have it 100%. Now the resale for these was quite interesting because neither of these are particularly popular on the resale market in that there's not many of them going around. There's more of the Alaïa Latecals on the resale market than there are of the Miumu bow bags, and because of that, I've seen like literally like a couple of Miumu bows knocking around. I don't know what's going on there. So they are retaining more of their value. Whilst I think we've probably seen these on social media the same amount, if not the Alaïa Latecal more, I am going to say buy the Alaïa Latecal over the Miumu bow. I think it's more versatile. The next couple we have are both shoulder totes, and this is the Saint Laurent Eclair tote versus the Gucci Giglio? Sounds like giggles. Anyway, okay, I think it's called the Giglio. They are both enormous. They are both bags that you could easily take to travel, take for a weekend. If you pack light, you could take these as a weekend bag. Work, things of that nature. Both of these also come with pouches. A 2-in-1, I love a freebie, let's get it. Now, the Gucci bag is much newer than the Saint Laurent, so keep that in mind for things. The Gucci is also half the price of the Saint Laurent bag. Fair enough, the Saint Laurent one is made out of leather, though if you do want the woven versions, they are somehow more expensive. And you have the Gucci version that is only in the canvas currently. Again, I think much like the last two we've talked about, I don't think either of these are particularly trendy. I think that the styles are quite simple. It's not like, oh my gosh, shoulder totes are such a only now thing, so I don't think that's a factor in this. And I think that both of these are practical and very wearable. I will say that the Saint Laurent one, because it is black quilted and then you just have this massive hardware YSL on the front, if you wanted to wear it to work or something that you don't want to be as logo-y, you can just wear it the other way around, so it just is black leather. Whereas the Gucci one, you are committing to a logo here. It is monogram in the brown or the denim monogram version, and there is no which way you could position this bag such that it doesn't look like a Gucci bag. So that is something to factor into this. Both will comfortably fit a laptop. The Care bag is a little bit like a bottomless pit though. So if you want any form of organization or even just like structure, it is a very structureless bag. The Giglio has a little bit more, it sounds like Jigglypuff, doesn't it? I love it. It has a little bit more structure in it, but again, it's not going to be the most organised thing in there, but the way that it is structured lends itself to a slightly a bit more organisation going on in that bag. This isn't a fair comparison when it comes to resale value and the price on pre-loved markets because the Giglio is very new. You're not going to see, I couldn't really find any, apart from one that looked suspiciously, I didn't know if that website was legitimate or not, so let's not even factor it in. The Care you can get around, I would say, between the $3,500 number on resale markets because it's been around for longer. We've also seen more of the Care in general on social media because it has been around longer. The Giglio is a little bit more under the radar. Ladies and gentlemen, buy the Gucci Giglio and not the Saint Laurent Care bag. I just think it's cooler, and you know me, I'm a logo ho. That's the long and short of it. The next couple stepping into the ring, ding, 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 we have the Fendi Spy bag, the new version, versus the Loewe Madrid. These are both bags that are easy, everyday bags, both leather. Depending on the size of the Fendi Spy bag, you can crossbody or top handle or shoulder, depending on the size. And then the Loewe Madrid bag, you can shoulder or crossbody. The Loewe one is much more expensive than the Fendi, and it's also not the easiest to get. It's not available online. You have to go to a physical store. You have to either pre-order it or express your interest, blah, 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 whatever little games that need to be played. I don't know why I did that. I felt like it was like a fairground. Do you want a Loewe Madrid bag? The Fendi Spy bag, you also currently can't buy at the moment, but you can pre-order it online, and when it is released, you will be able to readily buy this bag online. They both also come in two sizes, a small and a medium. In terms of trendiness, the Fendi Spy bag is far more trendy than the Loewe Madrid. The Loewe Madrid is much more practical, everyday. There is nothing crazy about this bag. It has a little bit of, you know, an accordion opening. But aside from that, you can't say that this bag is like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like such a noticeable style that's not in style in 2 years, whatever. Whereas the Fendi Spy bag is a re-edition of a vintage style that was present and then went away for a bit, and now it's back. So keep that in mind. Practicality-wise, these are both easy bags to use. They are both sizable. The Fendi Spy bag has an added little, I thought this was a brilliant touch. Under the sort of flap, there is almost like a coin purse-like opening for little knickknacks, maybe, you know, your lip gloss or your keys or something that you want easy access to that has got its own little closure in the flap of the bag. The Loewe Madrid bag, yeah, you've got a little bit of organisation there, but it is just compartmentalised. The Loewe Madrid bag feels more casual in this case. I think even with the Fendi Spy bag being able to be on the shoulder, and even if it's not necessarily, you know, like small and top handly, which is what we associate with an evening bag, I do think it feels slightly more dressy or dressed up, even if it in its style, like even the twisted handles, the fact that it's got a little tassel on the front, it does feel a little bit more dressed up than the Loewe Madrid bag. When it comes to resale value, we really can't judge these because both of them are brand new. But I would assume as things got released or whatever, the Loewe Madrid bag would go for more on the resale market because you can't just get it online. Whereas the Fendi Spy bag, you will be able to. In terms of predictions of seeing these on social media, the Loewe Madrid bag was gifted, the Fendi Spy bag is inevitably going to be gifted, but I don't see these being particularly like going crazy on social media where you've seen everybody with it, we're sick and tired. Based on all of this, I would say buy the Fendi Spy bag and not the Loewe Madrid. think she's got a little bit more going on for her. Our final couple of the day is the Chanel 25 bag versus the Hermes Lindy. Again, this isn't apples to apples, but I do think the general structure of these bags are relatively similar. Also, both bags aren't that easy to get, but we'll get into it. So you have this sort of like, I'm going to call it a bookend bag. There are the edges of these bags are longer than the body of the bag, and there is a level of sort of closure that means that it sort of collapses in, it almost Eiffel Towers itself. The Chanel feels trendier because there is more going on with this bag than the Hermes version. The Hermes version is plain leather, and then you have this sort of interesting sort of lock system, but aside from that, there's no extra design elements. The Chanel one, you have the quilting, you have the chain, shoulder strap, you have the Chanel toggle. There's a little bit more details going on with the bag, and therefore it feels more trendy. It's also a bag that's been more recently introduced, and that also feels a little bit more of the time than the Lindy. When it comes to price, the Lindy is more expensive. I struggled to find accurate price for 2025, but as of 2024, I believe the mini Lindy was going for $7,300 in dollars, and the Chanel bags are cheaper than that. I would also say that both of these are practical. You know, they're a decent size, you can feel like you can wear them every day. The Hermes one sort of feels as though it can do day to night, only because you can remove the crossbody straps and give it a pinch, and that feels a little bit more evening-y. The Chanel version in the smaller sizes could feel a little bit more day to night. So it's a little bit when it comes to that, but like I mentioned, both of these bags aren't easy to get. The Chanel, well, depending on what store you've got, you're going to get a different experience. And with Hermes, whilst it's not a quota bag, it is still a bag that you might not be able to walk in and get the exact one you want. They might only have certain colours or all of that, or you might have to wait for the one you want, but you're not jumping through hoops like you are for a Birkin and a Kelly and, you know, some crazy Constance or something. Chanel is going to win this when it comes to the resale value because it is a hot new Chanel bag and it has that trendiness. It's the most recent sort of numbered bag by Chanel, so they're sort of treating it as a classic. This is going for above its retail price on the resale market. I am going to say buy the Chanel 25, not the Hermes Lindy. I think, like with the Fendi bag, I think it's got a little bit more going on for it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagreed or agreed with my buy this, not that. If you like this, I can do this for more categories. So let me know. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.